Good day. We are here. There is an activation present when you are seeking to expand. It's like a light bulb going on as a signal to the universe, calling yourself, calling attention to your energy. It's like all the powers of the universe turn their head toward you when you make the choice, the decision. But it is not just a single thought. Your entire being, your intention, your vibration must ring true. Just saying it is never the thing. It's never the activator. It is the whole alignment of being. We are not saying that you must be fully healed in order to start this journey, but there has to be a true ringing vibration inside of you with the intention of expanding into your fullest and wholest being. There is a journey every person is taking. You cannot force their journey. You can be guideposts on their journey, but it is ultimately up to them how they evolve and what turn they take. Their soul is guiding them, and their soul knows their pre-assigned journey before they incarnated. Your soul may have agreed to be a guidepost along their journey, but again, your soul cannot force their journey into any certain way. The way you can help others heal is by continually showing up for yourself in your own healing journey. It must be modeled. It is generally not a sudden shift of events for most people. Some people have a story they tell as their come to the light moment, but it's never a full 180 flip, no matter what their stories say. There have been little whispers along their path leading them to that moment of realization. What it is that all of the pieces have finally fallen into a place they can recognize. It doesn't mean those pieces were not already there. So it is not as if they just fell off a cliff and landed into enlightenment and realization. It is that they finally had the awareness, their eyes were opened enough to see the puzzle pieces form into place, but those pieces had already been forming. So all you can be is a puzzle piece for somebody. It is up to them to put those pieces together on their own, in their own timing. As a healer, it is easy to want to rush somebody's healing because you know and see what they are in their whole version of themselves. But the reason you and everybody else chose to incarnate is in order to fulfill a learning. And the soul's learning cannot be rushed. It is never too late for somebody to heal. Even if their physical existence ceases to exist, before they've realized their whole self, they will just come back and do it again. There is no time limit. There is no limit. We've told you, there's no limitations. We're in a limitless universe. And that pressure you feel of running against a clock is a man-made pressure. It is not anything grounded in reality. Reality is not grounded in reality. The time pressure you place upon yourself to get things done in a certain order, in a certain time, is fabricated. You can feel in your body, just thinking about it right now, you feel anxiety about it. If you're feeling anxiety, means it is not a truth. Time is not a truth. Your perception of time is not a truth. And you can tell because of the feeling sensation you have in your body. It's bringing you discomfort. And any time you feel discomfort, you are thinking a thought that is not true. The greatest thing you can do to help humankind expand is to focus on your own expansion. Continue to be a model for those around you, but don't do it for the purpose of being a model. That's the trick. Don't point to yourself and say, look how great I am, look how enlightened I am. That is not the purpose. You can share your experiences. You can allow others to see into your path, but you do not need the pressure of teaching them in some way that you all think you need to teach. It is just, see, the danger, the pitfall is that when you label yourself as a teacher, there is this ego pitfall that you must have it all figured out in order to teach. You've heard it said to teach is to learn and to learn is to teach, and that is because it is the same thing. You don't need to have it all figured out before you can help others along their path, and that is what teaching is. If you're only a half a step in front of somebody else along the evolutionary path, then you reach the hand behind that half a step and help that person. That is how you collectively rise. You all reach in front and behind to anybody you see around you, and you guide each other forward. That is evolution. If you do not feel like there is anybody directly behind you that you can reach to, or directly in front of you that you can reach to, then you just take comfort in knowing that the universe is holding you. And you are never alone. And it is not a climb. It is a collective marching forward. We say marching, but that feels even too aggressive. But it is a sweeping, a carrying forward of each other. There is nothing external about your expansion. Everything is internal. To look outside of yourself is fruitless. You will never find peace outside of yourself. It is always within. You are of divinity. You are of source. It is not outside of you. You are one of its elements. The more collective flowing forward you can do as a consciousness, the more you collectively alter and affect the waves, the energy waves of the universe. Humans have a hard time understanding that they are not separate from the solar system they study and the galaxies that they think they will never travel to. It all affects each other, as we've said before. Nothing exists in a vacuum. We feel you as you feel us. We hear you as you hear us. There is a constant flow. The material world exists for the balance of that flow. The concept of yin and yang, masculine, feminine, it's all balanced. One cannot exist without the other, as we've said before. It is a unity. As long as one's physical actions are always tied to their soul's impulses, they can never misstep. And even in what you call an ego misstep, it really is not, because your soul is always guiding you. It is always driving the car, so to speak. Your ego may be completely unaware of why or how or in what purpose, but your soul knows. Some come to this planet for the purpose of being ego-led, so that their soul can experience that experience. So that the next time there's a lesson to be learned, the next time there's an incarnation, they can choose how to use that experience in their next lesson. Universe wants to experience everything, and you have universe in you. You are universe. So you have all experienced being the villain in a story. You have all experienced being the hero in a story. Because you are not fully whole and expanded until you've experienced all parts of the human experience. As much as that irks you to think that maybe in a previous or future incarnation you will not be such a goodie, you will be a baddie, you should not be afraid of that. All exists as part of the whole. Love is the thing that you are all seeking. And when somebody is experiencing their baddiness in the reality you are experiencing, it is a call to love that baddiness. They are still you, and you are still them. And to close them off from you as if that were not the truth of the universe is why that lower vibrating negative energy persists. It's a hard pill to swallow for humans, to think that they could be anything like the villains in your history. But in fact, you are exactly the villains in your history, because you cannot be separated. The best of the world and the worst of the world all exist within you. And it is up to you how much light you shine on all of the experiences. This is the crux of it. This is the lesson. Your Jesus in your history experienced it all and understood that everyone was of him and that he was of everyone, and that collectively you are God, as you say. That is the lesson. That is how consciousness, humanity expands. Individually, be your own light. Individually, shed your judgments. Get curious about your beliefs. Get curious about your reactions. Never assume that what you are thinking after an experience is a true statement. Especially if your body is uncomfortable, especially if you feel negativity or a low vibration emotion in your body. That is your indicator that your thought is not of divine truth. We feel pulled away in the moment. So if you wish to continue, we ask you to ground, or we wish to say goodbye. We thank you for your connection, and we will speak soon.